To East Africa now, where the death toll from a massacre in Ethiopia has risen to at least 260. Officials said rebels targeted ethnic Amhara villagers in the Oromia region. It's the latest atrocity in Ethiopia's nearly two-year-old civil war that began in the northern Tigray region. The country's leader is now opening a path for possible peace talks with Tigrayan rebel groups. DW correspondent Mariel Muna filed this exclusive report from a town between Tigray and Afar that has been racked by ethnic violence.
Deserted and destroyed. In December last year, Tigrayan fighters loyal to the Tigray People's Liberation Front, or TPLF, attacked the border town of Abala, and they left their mark. Abala used to have a mixed population of ethnic Tigrayans and Afar. In the days leading up to the TPLF attack, witnesses tell us fighting had already broken out along ethnic lines between Afar residents, Afar militia and local Tigrayans, causing many to leave. As you can see, the destruction is systematic. Every house on this road has been damaged. The Tigrayan fighters went from door to door, looted and damaged everything they could find. Tahir Hassan, the mayor of Abala, has since returned together with armed men, an attempt to reinstate some sense of security.
The shelling was relentless, like rain. More than 225 people died. They killed the elderly in their homes and others while they were escaping. They followed them and killed them.
They also raped several women, he says. The TPLF and the government declared a ceasefire. It's fragile, but it's been in force since March. In late April, TPLF fighters withdrew from Abala and other territories in the Afar region, allowing aid convoys into the Tigray region. But Abala's mayor, Tahir Hassan, says the TPLF never really left.
They say we're fully withdrawn from Afar, but they haven't really fully left. The hill that you see there, they're up there. They will come back once they have received enough food aid. Once they had enough of it, they will use it for war.
At a nearby cemetery, we meet Mohammed Hussein, a local health official who has helped bury close to 60 bodies. Among them were several children, he tells us.
I have a heavy heart. I'm lost for words. This has left a scar in my life, and I'll never forget this.
But it's not just lives that have been lost. Local infrastructure lies in ruins as well.
They destroyed the hospital, everything that's useful, the X-ray machine, the chem lab and the laboratory. They took everything and they broke the rest.
The fighting has caused a rift between the two communities. Both now accuse each other of massacres, destruction and looting. We found signs of TPLF actions, but Tigrayan witnesses also made claims of Afar militia aggressions. They say they targeted and killed several Tigrayan residents before transporting several thousand to the regional capital, Samarra. The head of the UNHCR's field office in Samarra confirmed that around 8,000 people have been held at a government-run camp meant to accommodate about 1,500 people.
Based on national and international standards, that should not be living human conditions.
He says among those detained are about 1,200 children, many suffering from malnourishment. We tried to gain access to the camp, but were denied by local authorities, who also refused to grant us interviews. We did, however, manage to hear from one of the people in the camp. He sent us these pictures. He told us via phone that people are suffering from diseases like scabies, diarrhea and pneumonia, that there is not enough food and no medical care. He says 70 people, including 5 children, have died since December due to lack of medicines and food. No one knows when the border town's residents will return, or if they will ever get to call Abala their home again.
Since the outbreak of the conflict, human rights groups have reported atrocities committed by both rebel groups and the Ethiopian army. Journalist Koleta Wanjohi in the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa has an update on the latest mass killing in Oromia.
Well, at the moment, what we know is the government says it's still working on investigating what really happened in the Oromia region, where we've seen people, especially from the Amhara ethnic group, having been targeted. And the government says it has security under control and it's going to ensure that the region there is really under control. It is one of the conflicts that the government is really battling with alongside the other one in the northern region. And at the moment, we just have both sides really blaming each other. We've seen the side of the rebels, the Oromo Liberation Army, saying that they're not responsible, blaming the government, but the government saying that as a government they cannot do this against their own citizens. So that matter is under investigations right now. And the UN has also spoken about it, with Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary General, saying that the government needs to investigate and ensure that this kind of killings don't happen.
And just last week, the Ethiopian president, Abiy Ahmed, said he was ready to consider talks with the Tigray People's Liberation Front. And now one of its partners allegedly committed this latest massacre. Does that jeopardize the prospect of peace talks?
Well, I think with the aspect of the northern region where the government was talking about peace talks, that was the Prime Minister explained to Parliament that the government is willing to look into what is called having a study committee that would look into the nitty-gritties of the details that would be required for peace talks to happen. What would it take in a way that does not jeopardize national security? And that was in particular to the issue in the northern region, which is the TPLF, right? Which is a bit separate from the issue of the Oromia region, because these are two different regions. So with that, we are waiting for what a report from what the government said is a study committee that is supposed to give feedback to the government probably in some few days, and then we'll see what steps will the government take, because already on the other side the TPLF has preferred and said they want Nairobi to hold the talks and to facilitate, but we still have to have the two what we can call warring factions agreeing and getting a compromise. So until the government gets its results from the study committee, then we can be able to know what kind of peace talks, if any, they want. But so far, we can say at least there is appetite for peace talks, which gives some hope.
Okay, Coletta Wanjohi, thanks so much for that.